Alrighty, trochanter rolls. They prevent the hips and legs from turning outward. So they do not let the legs turn outward, which we know or we will know by the end of this chapter is called external rotation. So they prevent the legs from turning outward or externally rotating. Like external means out. So it prevents the legs and hips from rotating out. Okay. A picture of a trochanter roll can be seen on 398 in figure 27.4. Trochanter rolls can be made of foam. They can be made of just a towel rolled up alongside the person. It can be a bath blanket that you could use. Sometimes therapy has ones that are soft foam. I always say they kind of look like beach towels. It's just something that you roll up in a log and place alongside the hip so the hips don't rotate outward. Okay. Again, take a look at the picture on page 398 of it and know that it goes alongside that hip so the hips don't roll outward. Okay, then we have a hip abduction wedge pillow. It keeps the hips from abducting. Okay, so I always remember the abduction wedge looks like a big A. It's an A-shaped pillow that goes between the legs. The trochanter goes on the outside. The hip abduction wedge goes between the legs on the inside of the legs. Okay. And again, the hip abduction wedge is a wedge that's in the shape of like an A. Think of a capital A, how it's like thinner at the top and wider at the bottom. Take a look at the picture on page 398 and you can see what I mean. It's a piece of foam that's shaped like a triangle or an A. The skinnier part goes up towards the knees and the wider part goes towards the feet, and it just straps around the legs to keep those legs aligned and prevent the hips from rolling inward. Okay, so trochanter rolls go on the outside and they keep the legs from rotating out. Hip abductions wedges are used so the legs don't rotate in. Again, they're both on page 398. Remember the trochanter roll rolls alongside the person. The abduction wedge is A-shaped, A for abduction. Hand rolls, hand grips prevent contractures of the thumb, fingers, and wrist. They're on page 399 of your book, figure 27.7 and 27.8. And basically, they usually attach with Velcro. And if somebody has a hand that is contracted, you might open up that hand and then put these braces or grips in place to help them so they don't contract even tighter. Okay. And there's ones for fingers, hands, toes. Sorry, let me move to the next slide. And then we have splints that keep the elbows, the wrists, the thumbs, the fingers, the ankles, knees in normal position. Splints can be applied by CNAs. Usually, physical therapy will fit the person for the splint or occupational therapy, and then it will be on your care plan and how to apply it. The most important thing with splints or braces or grips is when you're applying them, make sure you're checking the skin and make sure that the brace is not rubbing against the skin, causing any breakdown or pain or discoloration. Okay, because some of those splints are made of plastic, and plastic can be rough on the skin. So you are responsible for checking that the skin is intact and not broken down. The last positioning device that we're going to talk about is a bed cradle. It's used to keep the weight of the top linen, meaning the top sheet and the blanket, the heavy bedspread, off the feet and toes. This is a very old-fashioned one. Usually it's just one loop, but this is a 3-loop one. This is what I could find to post for you guys. There's a single loop, the one that you would see more commonly on page 399 of your book, figure 27.9. A bed cradle just goes underneath the mattress and then tense over the bed to keep the linens off the feet. So somebody has like a foot sore or a bed sore on their feet or on their ankles, and those sheets are too heavy, or we want to keep the sheets off of those wounds, we use a bed cradle or a foot cradle.